gravestones does not quite cut it.
Look at that. It's like something you would see in Rome or Athens.
I'm alright, I don't want to go inside anyone's grave with a bunch of dead people.
Hopefully it's not the dead trying to break out. We think we found a Vitas grave. Have we found it? Don't worry, I've got no intention to go up and actually open any.
Somebody did. We're Craig and Kirsty, a full-time travel couple sharing our adventures here on YouTube. We upload new travel content every week from different parts of the world, so please subscribe and welcome to the adventure of Tied Knot Travellers.
Hola, from sunny Buenos Aires.
Today we're exploring the affluent area of Recoleta, and we're going to start off by going and seeing the famous and we're going to start off by seeing the famous cemetery of Recoleta, which is where all of the rich and famous or wealthy political people of Argentina are buried.
All the graves are made up of these huge, they're almost like monuments to everyone who's buried there. So we're going to go in there and explore it, and it looks incredible. We're just walking alongside the walls from the outside, and you can see these huge gravestones as we duck through tree branches again.
Yeah, this isn't a normal cemetery that we're going to. There's 6,400 bodies here buried apparently, and it's not like a regular cemetery, it's all above ground, and they have like amazing tombstones. It's meant to be absolutely beautiful. So it's a must-see when you come to Buenos Aires, so we're going to show you.
And don't forget to subscribe and ring that bell, because we have tons of Argentinian and South American adventures coming up. Let's go inside and check it out.
Recoleta Cemetery is listed as one of the most beautiful cemeteries in the world, and it's easy to see why, as this city of the dead is full of breathtaking art. Beautiful examples of neoclassical, neo-Gothic, Art Nouveau and Art Deco can all be found here. Stepping inside Recoleta Cemetery is to step inside the history of Argentina. As with most cemeteries, there's always stories of hauntings and curious happenings, like the tragic story of a 19-year-old girl who died suddenly and was placed here overnight in her casket. The next day, a cemetery worker noticed the lid of the casket had been shifted. Assuming someone had attempted to steal the wealthy dead girl's jewellery, he checked inside, only to find something much worse. There were scratch marks all over the inside of the casket, and it transpired that she had been mistakenly presumed dead during an attack of cataplexy and was buried alive. When she woke up and found herself sealed in a casket, the fright, the terror, and the failed attempt of escape eventually gave her a heart attack, which became the real cause of her unfortunate death. This and many other tales can be learned as you walk around this cemetery with a tour guide.
Initial impressions of Recoleta Cemetery is just wow.
It is seriously vast, and gravestones does not quite cut it. They're more like monuments to the former influential and rich famous people of Argentina. They are stunning. They're like statues.
They're like mini tombs or mini chapels within themselves.
It's kind of weird though, because I read somewhere that apparently they're not all necessarily buried underground. Some of them are kind of at our height. But yeah, they're like full encasements, and yeah. The thing is, it's all written in Spanish, so unless you have an English tour guide, you don't know what it's saying. We do use Google Translate, but we don't have any Wi-Fi, so it's not working. But the most famous grave here, of course, is Evita's grave, and that's marked out on a map, so we're going to go find that. But although Evita's grave is the most famous, it's not necessarily the most beautiful. There's some really stunning ones. So yeah, we'll go find it.
As you walk along, there's so many different avenues that split off. So once you're in here, it's kind of take your pick.
It is a maze.
And choose where you're going to go. But
a maze of gravestones. They're not gravestones. I've never seen gravestones like this in my life.
Just looking inside this one that we've walked past, you can actually see the coffins inside as well.
Oh gosh, yeah, it's like a whole family of Martinez.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's 11 coffins inside this chapel.
Yeah, it's for the Martinez family. I find it really crazy that they're just there.
It's just like a metal gate in front of the tomb. There's not actually any glass or anything covering it. just that gate and you can see inside.
There's another one right there. Just, yeah, I mean, it's really cool, but it is really strange. I've never been anywhere like this before where you're basically just surrounded by bodies everywhere that you walk. I know obviously when you're in a cemetery that's generally the case, but they're usually like 6 feet underground.
Well, it's funny because this one is semi above ground and semi below, but certainly the one we saw just there of the Martinez family, they're all well and truly above ground.
It's nice, it's really interesting, like even though it's in Spanish, all the things that are written, you can kind of figure out what it's saying, well I can, a little bit, and it's really interesting. There's some really fascinating burials here. It feels like such a dark subject to be talking about, but it's kind of done beautifully here.
And it's so hard to choose where to go. We're walking down here, and in that time that we've been talking to you, we've walked past 2 other avenues like this, and look at that. It's like something you would see in Rome or Athens.
Yeah.
Incredible.
That is definitely how I describe it. It's got a very like Italian feel. In the most recent James Bond movie, when he goes to the graveyard and they set him up so that they can get him there, it's kind of reminding me of that.
Small town in Italy.
Yeah, it's kind of reminding me of that. That's the only other place I can think of that I've seen anything like this.
Or I swear I've seen something like this in Man on Fire. Got Man on Fire vibes here. Denzel Washington. As you come through the entrance, there's a map, and we've taken a picture of that. And we're looking for a Vitas grave, and it says it's number 88 in square H6, which is just behind us there. But none of the graves are actually marked with a number, and there's not a number 88 on the map, so we're struggling to find it.
Yeah, we're walking around reading Spanish. I did read online, they did say they recommend you to get a tour guide if you're going to come here, so that it can help you to find Evita's grave, or whatever else you want to find here. Obviously for us, we're not from Argentina, but Evita is the sort of main one to come and see, so we're trying to find that.
We're looking out for the plaque saying Evita, but we can't see that so far.
They're written obviously like in stone or in metal, and it kind of blends in, so it's not the most clear thing to just stand out.
We'll keep searching.
As we came in the main entrance, we walked along this beautiful tree-lined boulevard with lots of different avenues coming off of it, loads of gravestones or monuments. And then we got here and we found Carlos Pellegrini's gravestone, or incredible monument. And I think he was an important political figure, died in 1942. But what's quite interesting about this one is we noticed there's some steps going down to this kind of metal door, and you can go inside. I'm alright, I don't want to go inside anyone's grave with a bunch of dead people. It's freaky enough being here. I'm trying to pay my respect, but it is weird having this many dead bodies around, if I'm honest. I keep sort of looking left and right, and there's another coffin, and there's like drapes and things, and it's just a bit eerie. But anyway, it's an experience. But we're desperately trying to look for Evita's grave. It's really tricky to find, so we're kind of using this as sort of a point to kind of help you guys if you come here in relation to how to get to Evita's grave. Everybody wants to get there, so I guess we'll know when we find it, because there'll be a lot of tourists and a lot of Argentines paying their respects to Evita. And actually I can see a bunch of tourists over there, so I'm going to head that way next. I just want to find her grave, have a little look, because my Argentine history is not fantastic, but I obviously, like a lot of people, do know quite a bit about Evita. Thanks, Madonna. So I'd like to go visit her grave. It's pretty much the only person in here that I think I know of, so it would be nice while we're here.
But it's amazing. I've never seen a place like this. Just surrounded by monuments. Correct me if I'm wrong here, but I swear I have seen something on TV about maybe families or those of rival families breaking into other families' graves to try and get hold of the coffins, and here there is actually evidence of breaking into where the coffins are actually encased. Either that, or it could be weather, or hopefully it's not the dead trying to break out, but there is clear evidence of punching in, so I don't know. Say in the comments below, I might be completely wrong, but it could be that the capsules are getting broken into to actually steal the coffins.
So I just told Craig about something that I saw on the internet about this place. Apparently there was a member of staff who worked here and spent his whole life working here, and saved all his money so that he could afford to buy his own grave here. And he killed himself in 1960, I think, so that he could get himself buried here, which is a pretty crazy story. I don't know if that's true, but this place is filled with obviously rich, famous, political or important people. So yeah, I guess that was his dream, to become among them in death. Crazy. These places bring about these crazy stories.
And this one looks like Sagrada Familia in Barcelona. Some of them are so epic. It's got the Gaudi architectural style about it. This place is just like nowhere I've ever been before. It's amazing.
It is truly unique, it's incredible, and we think we have finally found our way to Evita's gravestone. So
we spoke to probably the only other English-speaking people in this place.
And they said it to us as well. You're the first English people we've met.
Yeah. And actually, when we were at the entrance, I thought I'd read the map wrong. I told some people that Evita's grave was at C7, and then I thought I'd read it wrong. Turns out I read it correctly, and I sent them to the right place.
And then
we then went to the wrong place, H6.
Basically disregard everything we've said
C7.
until now. So yeah, you want to get to C7.
And we think we're in the right area. We think we found Evita's grave. Have we found it?
This is definitely Evita's grave. You can tell because there's always a lot of people around here. This is the first time for a while since we've been studying that there's not a lot of people paying their respects to Evita. Also some fresh flowers down there for her. And then the fact that it says Evita here. As it states on the internet, the Evita gravestone is not actually particularly beautiful like a lot of the other ones, but it's just the fact that obviously she's such an important person because of all the things she did for the poor people and for women's suffrage. And she only had such a short life. She died at the age of 33, which is insane how much she achieved in that time.
It's actually got some flowers on the grave, and it's actually one of the more modern looking as well. You can see these plaques here look a little bit more modern than most of what we've seen around the cemetery.
The reason that Evita's monument looks more modern is because although she died in 1952, it took over 20 years for them to actually put her body here. It's political reasons, and I think she was put here in 1976, so 24 years later her body finally got to be here in Recoleta among all the people.
It's on one of the more narrower avenues, but it is in block C7, not H6. Whoopsie.
Eva Peron, more famously known as Evita, was the second wife of Argentine President Juan Peron. As First Lady, Eva became a powerful though unofficial political leader, revered by the lower economical classes. Eva was born an illegitimate child and raised by her mother. At age 15, she made her way to Buenos Aires to pursue a career in acting. This was where she met her future husband and played a huge role in his campaign for presidency, as she won the admiration of the masses. Eva acted as de facto Minister of Health and Labour, awarding generous wage increases to the unions, who responded with political support. She cut off government subsidies, making enemies among the traditional elite, and instead created her own Eva Peron Foundation, which established thousands of hospitals, schools, orphanages, homes for the aged, and other charitable institutions. Eva was largely responsible for the passage of the women's suffrage law and formed the Peronista Feminist Party in 1949. In 1951, although dying of cancer, she obtained the nomination for vice president. But the nation's military and bourgeoisie, coupled with her illness, forced her to withdraw her candidacy. In 1952, shortly before her death from cancer at 33, Eva Peron was given the title of Spiritual Leader of the Nation by the Argentine Congress. She was given a state funeral upon her death, a privilege generally reserved for heads of state.
Wow, we timed that well, literally 30 seconds ago. We were the only people on this avenue. It's crazy. Look how packed it is now.
You can tell when you're looking for Evita's grave because there are tourists and tour guides and people everywhere. That's a sure giveaway to know you've found it.
We've just come across this huge monument. It literally looks like a huge chest of drawers. It's like 8 drawers high.
It basically looks like a stone morgue. Like it looks like you just go along and just pull them out like a filing cabinet of bodies.
Don't worry, I've got no intention to go up and actually open any.
Somebody did. There's one open.
Yeah, you're right. Someone has actually pulled that open, and
There's no one in it.
can't see a coffin in there anymore.
I don't even like being here. It's so scary.
Kirsty has got the jitters walking around here. It does. I'm glad it's clear blue skies and a sunny day, because on a stormy day this place would feel quite eerie, but you can see that door's open and there's nothing inside there.
So Recoleta Cemetery is open every day from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. and to be honest, I wouldn't want to be here after 6 p.m. It would be very scary. I keep walking around and the whole place is beautiful, but it's a maze, and I keep turning around. I've lost Craig and I get really freaked out, and then I run around the labyrinth of dead bodies trying to find him. It's been fun. And obviously it's a cemetery, so it's free to come in and pay your respects and yeah, wander around and get lost. It's been pretty eye-opening and amazing seeing Recoleta Cemetery, but we are now scorched and super hungry, so we're going to head outside now, try and find somewhere to get some food. There seems like there's quite a few places out there.
Yeah, there are lots of places immediately around the outside of the cemetery, and it's definitely time to refuel. Amazing place. It's like nowhere I've ever seen before. Definitely worth a visit if you come to Buenos Aires. Highly recommend it.
And I've just seen another gravestone I quickly want to see before we leave.
Oh, is that because there's a dog?
No, this one behind, I don't know if you can see it, there's a statue of a young girl and she's got her dog next to her. Really tragic story. So she died only 26 years old. She's from an Italian family. She got married, went on a honeymoon with her husband in the Alps, and an avalanche killed them. So both her and her husband. And apparently, whether or not it's true, at the very same moment she died, her dog also died, even though the dog was back home with the parents. So yeah, really sad and tragic, and apparently they've set up this gravestone to look like it's made of all of glass and wood, no stone inside at all, and that's to represent the iciness that killed her, the icy killer avalanche. Really tragic.
Oh, she's a fountain of knowledge. I didn't know she knew that.
Let's Google. Also, I have the memory of an elephant. I just have the ability to read something and know it. I'm not actually clever. So many of these monuments are like little miniature houses, and they have clear spaces for other family members. I don't know why, I just find that really weird. I would hate to go somewhere paying respects to my family member and see the space that's going to be where my body goes one day. I find that all really strange. Yeah, I don't know. Let me know in the comments what you think. Do you want to know where you're going when you're gone?
So there's a coffin cart, literally right there, or a meat wagon, depending on what you want to call it.
That is in poor taste. But yeah.
That's what they call them.
Do they?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Anyway, we actually are going to leave now and get some lunch. We are really hungry. Got distracted by all the cool stuff here. This place is beautiful. What a great place to spend your afterlife. All these beautiful tree-lined boulevards, 6,400 gravestones, monuments of people who had a lot of money to be buried here.
So we're just wandering around near the entrance to the cemetery, looking for somewhere to get some lunch.
Loads of places to choose from here, and lots of different smells. It's so nice and sunny. We're right opposite Recoleta Cemetery, and there's so much to choose from.
It's such a beautiful day, and yeah, a top tip is don't vlog on an empty stomach. We found this awesome place called Bartola Craft, and they've got loads of options on the menu. I've gone for essentially chicken and chips, and Kirsty's gone for a cheese toastie.
And an iced coffee. It's really hot today, and we're still not quite used to the change from the UK wintertime to Argentinian summertime, so I need some icy drinks.
Our food has just arrived, and I'm really excited about this. This is exactly what I need on a day like today. Chicken fingers with some fries.
And I had planned to get a salad and be healthy today, but ended up with a cheese toasty. So the complete opposite, but there we go. Our waiter is so super nice, and we've noticed that since we've been here, everyone keeps apologising for not having good enough English, and we're like, are you kidding? Like, we should have better Spanish. Like, we try a little bit, we have a tiny bit of Spanish, but yeah, like everyone does speak pretty good English over here. They don't need to apologise for it. They're doing a great job. Just walked around from where we're just eating lunch, and we are right outside the Recoleta urban mall. So although today has been all about like the past and obviously death, Recoleta is actually a beautiful, very affluent area, and there are loads of shops here, as you can see behind me. It's really modern. We're going to have a little wander around, and we really hope you liked the video and the tour of Recoleta Cemetery as much as we did. And if you did, don't forget to give the video a thumbs up, and we'll see you on the next video here in Buenos Aires very soon. Thanks, bye! Join us next time as we head over to the colourful neighbourhood of La Boca, where the streets are filled with tango dancers and colourful markets. We also visit the home of Boca Juniors. For daily updates on our travels, head over to Instagram at Tide Not Travellers, or for exclusive behind-the-scenes content, we'd love you to join us on Patreon. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.
And don't forget to like and subscribe. We have loads of Argentine.
That was deafening.
I mean, just in front of us here, we've got Nelson's Column. One of our favourites, Nelson's Column.
We didn't climb. That we didn't climb.
The monument to the fire of London.
That we did climb.